Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at improving the lower body motion in the downswing by loading the trail hip better in the backswing. Hopefully you'll find a few pointers here to help you with your game. Thanks once again for joining me. Today we're looking at loading the trail hip because I find with players that if you do a good job loading the trail hip through backswing, it sets you up to push or move well, you could say, from trail side to your lead side in the downswing. So often you'll see compensations in the movement of the pelvis, which is very visual with the lead hip in the golf swing, that's coming from the player not loading well through backswing. I was presented a visual from one of the trainers in the Vault Performance Gym, one of the doctors, Dr. McLaughlin, that I found was a really cool visual for players to encourage the right way to load the trail side. If I just grab my golf towel here, it was a visual that through backswing, we want to be wringing out the golf towel. So I've used before the analogy of twisting your foot into the ground. So essentially you've got that resistance of your, let's just say the big toe, keeping good connection to the ground, while the trail hip is moving around this way. And as far as like just to reference the movement of the knee, I find that is something that will come up a lot with players, is that while the big toe's maintaining good connection with the ground, the pressure in the foot is moving towards the heel of the foot and the hip is moving around. So that's where we're getting that ringing visual of the towel. And I'm really feeling it a lot back in my hip here. Now, I mentioned the knee there, didn't I? Through that movement, allow the knee to move in a way that accommodates keeping the connection and the load. So I'm not restricting the knee in any way. And from down the line, what you may notice is that my trail knee, it straightens a little, so it's extending at the knee. The movement there is the one, that's what we're getting. It's straightening just a little to accommodate the load. And it's also, the knee is starting to point a little bit more to the right for me as I look down. So as that movement is happening in the foot, you would expect the knee to start to point a little bit more this way. Now, if it was pointed a good way out the foot, that's something I may look at for the player, make sure that they've got the range to support that. And just from an opposite movement, as we move and push into downswing, as the foot moves this way, the knee is going to point inside on the way down. So that's just a reference. That's for the knee movement that we'd expect to see while this is happening. But I grabbed the towel again because I really did enjoy this visual here. So obviously this would be the foot end of my glove hand. And as the hip is moving around, we're really creating a stretch through this kind of a visual in the trail leg there. Okay, and if I get into that position, so I can really feel what's going on with the foot, feels like it's gripping the ground there, feels like my hip is really trying to move away around there, and there's just a good resistance through the trail leg, and I'm almost set to move in a way that's going to allow me to push off the big toe of my trail foot. So that's the visual I wanted to share with you today. There's some of the pointers I wanted to share with you today. If we can tie in just one little piece of feedback that I referenced from Dr. Marple's website, he's another mentor of mine, is that through the backswing, if you just reference the middle back belt loop, it should feel while we're doing this motion as though it's moving slightly towards the target. Okay, so you can see I'm also encouraging my trail shoulder to turn and to help accommodate that movement as well. But that's where we're there, and then I can feel as though I can push off that trail side the way that I want to. So let's grab a club now and just to build that motion, that movement into a pattern with the club. Really feels as though I'm getting more rotation for me with my pelvis in backswing when I do that. That's personal to me. I'm not saying that's what you would feel. So for me, that it really feels like just a lot of stretch, a lot of load. Okay, I mean, really nice feeling there. Just feels like it helps me to create space doing that motion. Okay, let's see how we do here hidden a few. So sitting up here, that's the feel there. hit that one pretty heavy. I think it's just because, and that's something you'll see quite often with players when you're looking at moving into your trail side. Very easy to stay back there moving into downswing. Let's see if we can get one more here. I want to feel, I think I was so focused on moving the load back, I didn't actually focus on the push on the way through. So that's something there to keep in mind. So this one here, let me see, I can feel like, so we're going there, and then we're getting, yeah, we're getting there. That one was much better. So a really important point there, coming out of my first swing there, is that one, it's not really worth just focusing on accomplishing the backswing and then without being clear on how you're going to move into the ball and execute a golf shot. So you got to, I find players, you've got to be able to piece the two together, otherwise you're just making a good backswing. A little clean on that one, but that's the sensation that I'm working towards in my movement, to just help me to improve my lower body on the way through. Really cool little visual there from Dr. McLaughlin.